Alright, we are back to talk about step 5. We want to look at our results indicators and judge how the strategy is working or not working. So, step 5. For proficient students, we said our prioritized next step was create and execute their own political cartoons. But we are not to that point yet.
No.
What do we think is going to stand in the way of that?
I think my students were struggling on just trying to understand political cartoons,
Okay.
even when we were going over the notes.
Right.
And I'd ask them just simple questions like, they got the symbolism. They were struggling with the things like the irony. And I kind of had to really spell it out for them in order for them to get it. So I think that is that, and then the overall purpose of it. I think they might struggle with creating an argument rather than the slogan versus argument thing. I think they might be struggling with that.
For me, the devil's in the details. It's the individual parts that make up a political cartoon that they're struggling with. They can get kind of the overall thing, they can do an overview of it, but when you go down to saying, okay, what does this little part mean, or what's the example of irony, or what's a symbol in this, that's when they're struggling. I think they're still thinking textual as in words, and it's just hard to translate that to graphics. For example, we're doing a cartoon today where somebody was sad and they had a little cloud over their head, and it took a little bit of teasing out to get them to understand that cloud was a symbol for him being sad and frustrated. Once they figured that out, the light bulbs came on, everybody was happy. It's just, at this stage, you gotta kind of almost connect the dots for them and get them to understand what's going on. So we're making progress, it's just fits and starts.
As far as irony goes, that NRA cartoon is really good for irony.
Yeah,
I did that one a lot, and I think that when we get to the explicate level, when we're ready, I think I'll start with that one. Even though they've been exposed to it, it'll baby step them into that labeling and
that might help.
processing, piece.
Yeah.
All right, close to proficient. Our prioritized next step was determine text-to-world connections, and our selected instructional strategy is the poster analysis, which I have not gotten to yet.
I have not gotten to that either.
Yeah, that's our next step. We hit a few bumps in the road with doing the graphic organizer, so we're just kind of going back over there. We're not spinning our wheels, but I felt like I needed maybe another class for them to get that step down. Because the poster analysis, they got to have this part down before they can move to that. Otherwise, we will be spinning our wheels.
Right. I think I will start when I do this. I think we will practice whole group instruction, modeling instruction using that NRA cartoon, because it's just got so many different parts. The symbolism, the irony, even the stereotype with the NRA member.
Yeah.
So, all right. It was the same for students far to go. Intervention students. This is our surface level characteristics, and we are doing the graphic organizer of features of political cartoons. So far, I know you and I have done the direct instruction piece, the lecture and the notes. That went really well for me.
That went well for me as well.
I mean, they really got it. I could see the light bulb click fairly quickly.
We did it where we would have a term that they need to know and then an example, and it worked pretty well at that level. It's just getting them to the next one. But yeah, so far on the terms and the PowerPoint and that, I've had success.
Okay. They seem to be understanding that.
We also did today a concept map, and I hung those out in the hall so they're out there for everybody to see, but I thought that went really well. They were very engaged with the process. They really, and I let mine use each group got a laptop. Not everybody can have a laptop, but if you wanted to use that as a reference, you could, because I wanted them to to go out and find the information before they relied on me to give it to them. It went really well. They seemed to understand it. They seemed to understand their part better.
Good.
So, do we see any changes coming that we need to make? Any red flags?
Not really, no. I think, like Mr. Meehan was saying, just that extra day to make sure that they have that foundation, and I think they're doing pretty good with it so far.
I don't see any need to fall back and regroup, but maybe just another day or two, take it a little bit slowly. Political cartoons can be kind of tricky, and I think the big thing is they're used to, if they're looking for irony, they're looking for a word that's ironic and not a picture that's ironic. And I think once we break through that ice, it'll start to go a lot easier once we can get them to there.
Okay. So what are our next steps? Tomorrow they will be they'll be getting into the graphic organizer, but it'll be whole class instruction. We'll be doing it together. That'll just be a mini lesson before we get back into the novel.
Sounds like I'm about a day ahead of you there. I'm going to start weaning them away from the whole class letting them work with partners if they,
Okay.
if they wish. It's gonna be a lot of me back cleanup, but I think I've almost got them where they can think on their own. Maybe we'll do one more
Okay.
old class and then let them try to knock a few out on their own.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm kind of right there with you.
Right.
We've been trying to, I know we were a little bit further behind in the novel, so we did some reading today, so we weren't able to completely finish the concept map.
Okay.
But we're going to finish that up tomorrow and then move right along with it.
Okay. Did you do yours on poster paper?
We kind of were just outlining it on regular computer paper first, and I was going to have them put it on poster paper tomorrow. I got to get some poster paper though.
Right. Let's see what we got.
There's lots in Mr. Jones' office. I can take it right to the
Okay,
mother
well,
There
load.
you go.
Good, there we go.
That just got filmed.
Yeah. There's
All
Jones
right.
coming for you. No, I'm
That's
just
all right.
kidding.
All right, well, that's it. You know, we'll meet same time, same place next week, and we'll look at, you know, step 5 again. Is there anything we need to change? Is there anything we need to do differently? Are we seeing the success, the mini success that we need to get to mastery? All right.